and I'll conclude with this. Over the years, I'm sort of one of those writers who've always opened that small window into the realities of other lives that seem so far removed, by also reminding people that we are each other's keepers as human beings, and that through stories we can build an empathetic world that allow people to walk in each other's shoes before things collapse. And people think some of us were dreaming because we come from this oral tradition, storytelling, so we always said, and then COVID came and people thought, yeah, he did write about it quite a bit and reminded us and nobody listened, you know. And even the idea of sort of being um, independent, which is something that's pushed very much in the world, besides the African community and cultures where we believe that um, you know, you're always part of a community first before you're an individual. It doesn't mean that your individuality doesn't exist, because I am, because we are. And for a number of years, I remember having a vigorous debate with somebody about this, saying that, well, in the American sense, you know, doesn't make the human being grow. This doesn't make the human being does this. You know, you have to be, your own individuality is pushed so much that people forget even how to relate to each other. So when conflict arises, we don't even know how to talk anymore, you know? So when we had Ebola in Sierra Leone, I remember a lot of American journalists were saying that, listen, all those Africans, if they only stayed away from each other, they would not spread it, right? And I used to say, it is not as easy as you think it is, because it's a culture that built on people talking to each other all the time. And you have to undo some very natural human things, you know, to deal with something. And people learned how to do that. And then this thing happened here, and then people went into hiding, you know, from the COVID that became global. You know, we all know what it is. But then people can't handle being alone. They've pushed individuality so much over the years, and people realize that they actually can be alone, which is again what we've been saying over the years, that the mere fact of seeing another human being, even if you don't say hello to them, adds something to your resolve, to who you are, just by seeing them. We know this from the African tradition very much, which is why community is very strong. So now people went away together and they realized, I can't handle being alone. I'm freaking out. All these things are happening. Realize, well, here we are again, you know, we're going back to the same, you know, we're all neighbors, we all are human beings, we can, you know, the way we express our humanity culturally can be different, but it all comes down to the same thing. So I do hope that we can learn from this. And then with what's going on with racism and everything, I do hope as human beings, we can really, when we get back out there fully, we would not go back to how we have been, because we already know that that doesn't work for us. But I've also seen conflicts and recurrence of it. I also know that human beings are very forgetful, which is why centers like yours are very important to remind people constantly. Here is history. Here is what happens when human beings keep forgetting. This is where we keep going back to. So how do we make sure we don't do that again?